Hey guys, my name is Haley and today I'm going to be filming my October TBR, which is also going to be my announcement in participating in the Spookathon Readathon that is happening. That is being hosted by Vanessa from Paper Faerie and a couple of other booktubers. There are a couple of challenges that go along with this readathon, but I'm also going to be reading some other books that are just on my TBR that I've been saving for this month, so let's get started. So the first challenge is to read the group book, which is The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. I don't own this book, and my TBR is quite large, as you'll see here in a minute, so I might not get to this one, but if I feel the need to read it later in the month, I'll just order it offline somewhere, so we'll see if I get around to it. Challenge number 2 is to read a book featuring your favorite Halloween creature. If you saw my book haul, you might actually know what my favorite Halloween creature is, so I'll give you a minute to guess. If you guessed zombies, you are correct. I do have a bunch of zombie things. I have the Walking Dead graphic novels. I have all the first 5. I have the Revival graphic novel, which is about zombies, I believe. I have another one of the books I'm currently reading, which is Flesh and Bone, which is the 3rd book in the Rotten Ruins series, and I could continue with that series if I feel the need to. And I also own World War Z, so I'll definitely be reading some of those, if not all of them. Challenge number 3 is to read a book with fall colors on the cover, and actually most of the books that I have fall colors on the cover, but the ones I picked specifically for this challenge are World War Z in case I don't get to it for the zombie challenge. And I also have Sweet Tooth Out of the Deep Woods, which is the first volume of the graphic novel series Sweet Tooth. And I've been hearing such good things about this for probably around a year now, and a friend of mine actually just read it and really enjoyed it, so that made me even more excited to read it, so I definitely want to get to at least this first volume this month. The next challenge is to read a book written by an iconic horror author. I have Nightmare Hour by R.L. Stine. I have absolutely no idea what this is about. I found it at the thrift store and was like, ooh, R.L. Stine. Not a Goosebumps book. I think most of his books that I've read were Goosebumps, so I'm very excited to get into this, and I'm just now realizing that the eyes on this are very creepy. Okay. I also own It by Stephen King, which I am currently reading. This also will count for the next challenge, which is to read a scary book and watch its movie adaptation. And I do plan on rewatching the movie of It, which I watched as a child and absolutely terrified me, and is the reason I'm scared of clowns, so that should be fun. I'm about 100 pages into this and I'm actually really enjoying it. I really like Stephen King's writing style so far. The 6th challenge is to read a scary graphic novel, and I'm going to be rereading Lock and Key by Joe Hill and Gabriel Rodriguez. I read this last summer, I think. I don't know why I thought it was a good idea to read it in the summer, but I loved this and I'm really excited to reread it so I can continue on with the series because I want to get my hands on the rest of these, and it's a pretty creepy series from what I remember from last year, so I'm very excited. And the last challenge is to read a book with a scary setting, such as like a creepy forest or like anything Halloween-y. And I decided to go with Shutter Island by Dennis Lehane. This could also count for the scary movie adaptation because I know there's a Leonardo DiCaprio movie, which is always a good actor to find in book-to-movie adaptations, but I don't have an easy way of getting a hold of this movie as much as I do It, so I decided to put it for this challenge of a spooky setting because it is set in an asylum for, I think, the criminally insane, and that's literally all I know about it. But I've heard it's pretty good. I know the movie's pretty good, so I'm excited to read the book. As for the rest of my TBR, as if that was not ambitious enough with the 1,000-page It, the rest of my TBR includes Night Film by Marisha Pessl. I actually tried to read this during the month of October last year, and for whatever reason, I could not get into it. I think I got maybe 100 or so pages in, and just, I wasn't feeling it. I put it down. I wasn't interested. But I am still, like, I do still really want to read this because I know a lot of people on BookTube really love it. So I don't know if I just wasn't in the mood for it or if I genuinely didn't like it. So we'll see when I try to reread it this month if I just don't like it or if I just wasn't into it last year. Oh, my bookmark's still in here. I got to page 204. Next up, we have The Diviners by Libba Bray. I've been specifically saving this because I know it has something to do with ghosts, and I hear that it's pretty spooky, so I figured even though it's a huge book, I've heard the second half of it at least goes really fast. I'm hoping to get to this. It's big. I don't know if that's gonna happen, but I'm feeling optimistic because it's spooky month, which is my favorite month of the year. Next up we have All the Truth That's in Me by Julie Berry. I know nothing about this book except that I'm pretty sure it's a thriller, and I've seen somebody on BookTube haul it or read it or something, and they gave it a good review, so I found it at the thrift store and I bought it. We have The Darkest Corners by Kara Thomas. This is actually an ARC that I won in a Instagram giveaway, I believe it was, and I just got a box full of books, which was great. But I just know that this is a thriller. I know that it's fast-paced, so I'm hoping to get through it pretty quickly and just tack it onto my read books pile because I'm trying to get a bunch of these off of my shelf so I have room to buy other books. Lastly, we have You by Caroline Kepnes. I bought this on bargain at Books A Million, I believe it was, last year. And I've heard some very, very mixed things about this, but I do know it's told in second person and it's told from the point of view of a stalker, so that sounds pretty creepy to me. We'll see how I feel about it. I'm a little bit iffy on whether or not I'm gonna like it, but we're gonna give it a shot. Also, side note, I actually went to a Switchfoot and Reliant K concert last night and got home at 3 in the morning, so if I look tired, that's why. So this is my October TBR for Spookathon. About half of them are for the Spookathon, but I don't know if this is gonna happen, guys, but we'll see. Pray for me that I get through all of these, or at least most of them. Thank you all for watching, and I will see all of you guys next time.